why Tunde, Obina, Nkechi, Kenechukwu, and Chinedu, even Ifeanyi, is struggling right now in their business, maybe in Ladipo, Festac, Alaba, Idumota, or even in Ochanja Market. They struggle every day trying to make ends meet. They cannot really explain why they cannot show for it. You might be in the US, you might be in the Europe, but still, the distance is still not a barrier. There are spiritual legalities that can hold you captive when you are rising before you know what is happening before, or you don't even rise at all. Or you even think you are doing well, but guess what? The devil holds you with a chain this long, and you are walking around. You are able to use your hands, right? But you do not know that this is the extent you can go because you don't see the chain. What if there was no chain, and the chains you can reach are even further away than you know? So you might think that you are doing well, but there might be more to your success that you are not getting. So make sure this video gets to your friends and your enemies. Remember, love your enemies. So me personally, growing up as a little boy in Enugu State. Enugu State is located in Nigeria. It's in the eastern part of Nigeria in Africa. I used to see this madman. The man is named Okpori right here. But when I realized the story behind his situation, I was shocked. Okpori was from Abakaliki. Then there was no Ebonyi State. Abakaliki has a boundary with Enugu State. So Okpori grew up in Abakaliki. He was a very, very intelligent boy. When he finished his secondary school, he came out with flying colors, but then his parents were not able to afford his higher institution. So Okpori decided to leave school and then start working in people's farm. And he was making enough money to get him by the day. So with the little he saved, Gaiman moved to Enugu State, which was like a city at that point, still in Africa, Nigeria. With that little money, he decided to start Okreka business. This is like used clothes business. He was doing this menially on the roadside. But then, because Okpori is a very hardworking guy and very upright as well, he was able to like save up money and then get his own apartment where he was living. Immediately, when he felt comfortable, he decided to call his friend, known as Abake. He went to school with Abake when he was in Abakaliki. Hey, I think we have a good business here. Come over to Enugu. He sent him money and brought him over to Enugu. And then Abake joined used clothes business called Okreka. They were both selling this thing on the roadside and they were happy. Everybody was happy. So, but then while Okpori was doing his little business, they were buying from importers that were bringing goods from Europe by container, like shiploads of containers, used clothes. Then Okpori were buying from these people. When they buy from these people, they sell on the roadside. But then this man named Emeka, who is an importer, he brings in these goods from Europe. He was studying Okpori from far. He noticed that Okpori is a very nice guy and very upright. Sometimes you do good things, you don't know that people are watching you. The man called Okpori and said, since you are very upright, let's strike a deal. He told Okpori, I am going to stay in the comfort of Europe. Instead of wasting money flying from Europe and back just to sell a container, this is what I want to be doing. I will save up the money for flight and buy more container of goods and ship them over to you. And then you sell these goods, make the money, give me my own cut and take your own profit. Bro, they did it. And it worked out for them. He was upright and he was making his own money. While making money for Emeka, Okpori immediately became a rich man overnight. Like, he was very rich. But the problem is, while Okpori was making this money, his friend was still a roadside Okreka dealer. So there is now a disparity. Okpori is rich, his friend is also okay, but not as rich as Okpori. That is where the problem began. The Bible says that one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there are friends who stick closer than a brother. Abake was not one of those. Abake grew very jealous. Abake made a very, very bad trip to a native doctor. When Abake got to the native doctor asked Abake, what do you want? Abake simply said, I want my friend Okpori to run mad. And then the native doctor consulted his oracle and then asked some questions. And now the native doctor came back to Abake and told Abake, after consulting my oracle, oh my God, they say that Okpori's hands are clean. You have no legal right against Okpori. Here comes the legal right we are talking about. And then he could not do anything to Okpori. A lot of us do not know that the devil cannot do anything to you only if the devil has legal rights. That is why after the devil met with God against Job, he could not do anything, but then he went back to Job and decided to do something to him before ever trying to do any other thing extra. So on that basis, the native doctor now gave Abake an option, because these people, they know, forget it, people say the devil has no power. It's a lie. The devil has a lot of powers, but the devil is powerless when you start equating the devil with the power of God. So that song, Powerless Power, is a big lie, but it is when you start equating the level of power with that of our creator. So the native doctor told Abake, the only way you can do something to Okpori is if